Good evening, everyone. So, the objective of the seminar is very clear. The objective of the seminar is to talk about obviously public administration optional, which we are going to start. We are going to start from Monday onwards. And see, today's session has some very simple goals. First of all, we are going to discuss about optionals. So there are generally a lot of queries relating to optionals, and there are number of doubts also relating to optionals as to what optionals we should choose for, what optionals are scoring optionals, what are the parameters that are there related to choosing of optionals. No, you must have thought about some optionals, like you must have come across public administration optional. So what do you think? Do you think public administration optional is no good or not? So these are basic queries related to your optionals. So first thing first, what we'll be doing is, first I will be discussing that aspect. So what should be the parameters related to optionals, how you choose them, and because not every optional is real, no, it's not that every optional is relevant for everyone, because there are a few key requirements for every optional. So if you fulfill those requirements, you get a very good score, and until and unless you fulfill that requirement, you are very unlikely to score well. So what are the requirements of public administration as an optional? I will be obviously telling you about that, because I know about this optional, so I know I cannot comment about others, but this optional I will tell you what are the exactly requirements of this optional. And then we will also do what? We will also get into the discussion of the syllabus, what the syllabus of the optional is, and the requirements finally, that what are the things that you should know, how you should begin this preparation, what are the specific things that you are going to get when you are here. So all those ideas is what I'll be discussing. Okay. Now let's begin our discussion with a simple understanding of the importance of optional. Importance of optional. See, the first thing that you have to understand here is that this is the only decision that you make in your preparation for civil services examination. The only decision, because everything else, everything else is pre-decided. Everything else is, it's pre-decided. Everything else is pre-decided. That means whenever we are talking about general studies, each and every component of general studies is predefined. You don't have any choice there. Even when it comes to your essays, you don't have any choice. You have to do what? You have to attempt whatever the essay is being asked. The only thing that you decide is your optional. Now, why do we consider that sometimes most of us, most of the aspirants that are there, they make a fundamental mistake. What is that? They make a mistake where they feel that optional in comparison to general studies, because there is there is a variation in marks. Your general studies carries 1000 marks and your optional carries 500 marks. So because it has 50% of the weightage, we generally think the optional not to be a very important decision, and no, we can choose any optional that is there, or choose any optional which others have opted for. But the problem is that despite less weightage despite less weightage, optional has a very key role, a very important role to play in your selections. It is a very key role that it plays. And if you want to see this, you can see this by looking at the results that are there and those who have previously qualified. If you look at those who have previously qualified, you will understand one thing. The toppers of this particular examination, and by toppers I mean anyone who has it's his rank from 1 to 100, you will find one thing which is common in all of them, which is what? Which is that they have all the toppers score very well in their optionals. All the toppers that are there, they score very well, they score outstandingly well in their optionals. Because if you if you just see the pattern, just try and analyze the pattern. In general studies, with very good preparation, if you have prepared very well, the score that you are likely to get is almost an average. An average score is somewhere around 370 to 400. That means when I'm talking about someone who has who is scoring very well, that means he is definitely going to qualify. I'm talking about that particular individual score, not anyone else. So what is the marks that the individual scores? The marks is, it would be somewhere around 370 to 400. Anything above 400 is it is something which is a bonus. That means you cannot predict that score. You may get above 400 in your general studies, but no, you cannot predict that you are going to get it. It is something which is a bonus. No, see, आपको समझना पड़ेगा, which I will clarify to others also. जो प्राइमरी कम्युनिकेशन होगा वो इंग्लिश में ही होगा, क्योंकि बैच इंग्लिश मीडियम का है, ठीक है, और जो भी 90% कम्युनिकेशन है वो इंग्लिश में ही होगा। हिंदी में मैं कुछ बातें बोल सकता हूँ, लेकिन मैं सारी चीज़ें हिंदी में नहीं बता पाऊंगा, क्योंकि उसका रीज़न ये है क्योंकि द बैच दैट इज देयर, दिस बैच इज एन इंग्लिश मीडियम बैच, है ना। सो यू हैव टू कीप अप until and unless you keep up with the language, चीज़ें जो है ना, ये स्पेसिफिकली जब आप ऑप्शनल्स वगैरह की प्रिपरेशन करते हैं तो उसका एक स्पेसिफिक मोड ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन होता है। अगर आप उस कम्युनिकेशन पैटर्न को फॉलो शायद नहीं करोगे तो आपके लिए डिफिकल्ट होगा। इसीलिए इस चीज़ को समझना है कि क्योंकि ये इंग्लिश मीडियम बैच है, दिस बैच दैट इज देयर, द डिटेल्स ऑफ इट is that it will be in English, है ना। कम्युनिकेशन प्राइमरली इंग्लिश में ही होगा। तो कुछ बातें हैं जो मैं हिंदी में बता सकता हूँ, बट ऑल ऑफ इट आई कैन नॉट, दैट इज वो लिमिटेशन मेरे साथ भी, ठीक है। एनीवेज, कमिंग बैक, तो मैंने क्या कहा, ऑल द टॉपर्स दैट आर देयर दे स्कोर वेरी वेल। उसका रीजन क्या है, व्हाट इज द रीजन फॉर इट? द रीजन इज दैट द मार्क्स दैट यू गेट, whether it is your general studies paper in combination, your general studies paper that is there, the general studies paper, if you are scoring very well, if you have prepared very well and you are likely to qualify, so the marks would be in that range. ये मत कभी भी एक्सपेक्ट करना कि जनरल स्टडीज में आपको 60% मार्क्स आ जाएगा, ऐसा नहीं होता है. दैट्स नॉट possible. That's not what UPSC allows. So if you get 40% marks there, it is an exceptional score. And that is also the case with your interviews. That is, if you look at the interviews, you will find that the scores that are there, the average score of a topper or an individual who has qualified, वो एवरेज स्कोर जो है ना वो 175 180 है. दैट मीन्स दिस इज फिक्स्ड. सो व्हाट is the only thing that is the defining factor is your score in your optionals, because this is not fixed. It can vary. It can vary from anywhere starting with 200 and going up to 300 and 320. So this is what the problem is, that what happens is we tend to not give a lot of importance to our optionals, but that is the determining factor. And what your score is in your optionals, जो आप optional में score कर रहे हो, that is going to determine what rank you are likely to get, whether you are going to qualify the examination or not. It is primarily your option. Yes. Huh? I'll come to that. That confusion part, I'll come to it. Okay. First, let us do what? Let us just have a brief idea. And that is fine. I will, see what I am going to do is, I am going to tell you what are the important aspects of public administration, not PSIR, because I don't know about that much, that a lot. But yes, what is the requirement of public administration optionals and how you can score well there? That is what I'm going to talk about. So in that sense, you can judge, and all of you, those who are here, those who are online, all of you can judge that the requirements that I'm talking about, जिन requirements की बात हो रही है, जो भी requirements की बात हो रही है, that okay, these are the requirements to score well. तो क्या आप उन requirements को fulfill करते हो या नहीं? Do you fulfill those requirements or not? And accordingly you can decide. ठीक है? Anyways, so when it comes to optionals, as I have already told you, the optional is the deciding factor. What you score in your optionals determine how or whether you are going to qualify or not, because otherwise generally the scores are an average score. What is the defining factor is your option. Now coming to see, whenever we are talking about optionals, generally there are three types of optionals that are there, and based on what the requirements of those optionals are, you can judge which category of optionals are likely to be more suitable for you. क्या कहा मैंने? मैंने ये कहा कि तीन तरह के ऑप्शनल्स होते हैं. There are three types of optionals in its nature. In its nature, I'm not talking about exactly how many optionals are there. I'm categorizing. मैं तीन तरह के optionals की बात कर रहा हूं. और what you need to do is, आपको ये करना है कि आपको ये समझना है कि जो optionals मैं बता रहा हूं, क्या आप उन optional के requirements को fulfill करते हुए, ठीक है? Because when I say there are three types of optionals, the first type that is there, the first type of optionals are basically completely objective. objective optionals, which means that here the those optionals which fall into the category of sciences, है ना, those optionals which fall into the category of sciences, these optionals are here. And what is the requirement? That means whether you score well in this optional or not is dependent upon what factor? एक factor है. What is that? First, when it comes to objective conceptual clarity, and objective presentation. That means here you do not require a lot of writing related skills, because in your mains examination you are appearing appearing and you are writing subjective essay based answers. So it's not an objective test here, but in sciences you have to have objective conceptual clarity. If you have objective conceptual clarity, you are very likely suitable and you are likely to do what? You are likely to perform very well in this type of optional, provided obviously you have a background in it. So the requirement, one of the requirement here is obviously background. अगर आपका background science का नहीं है तो obviously you cannot choose these optionals. ठीक है, अगर आपने physics नहीं पढ़ा है तो आप physics ले नहीं सकते हो, अगर आपने chemistry नहीं पढ़ा है तो आप ले नहीं सकते हो, maths नहीं पढ़ा है तो आप नहीं ले सकते हो. बट अगर आपने ये चीज पढ़ा है, if you have read this before and you fulfill this demand क्या है कि आपको conceptual clarity होनी चाहिए. तो मैथ्स अगर किसी का ऑप्शनल है, उसे सम्स बनाने, इफ ही नोज हाउ टू डू इट, इज लाइकली टू स्कोर वेरी वेल. इसमें आंसर राइटिंग स्किल्स की जरूरत नहीं होती है. देयर इज नो रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ आंसर राइटिंग स्किल्स. ठीक है, सो नो रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ आंसर राइटिंग स्किल्स, नो रिक्वायरमेंट ऑफ लैंग्वेज and language related, you don't have to be very good in your language skills. इसका बिल्कुल ऑपोजिट यहां पर है. कौन सा? जिसमें मैंने कहा, जैसा मैंने आपको बताया, लैंग्वेज. तो देयर आर सम ऑफ अस हु हैव अ लॉट ऑफ पोटेंशियल रिलेटेड टू हाउ वी प्रेजेंट थिंग्स. यानी हमें लिखने का एक फ्लेयर है, हमारे लैंग्वेज बहुत अच्छा है, हम बहुत अच्छे वर्ड्स जानते हैं, हमारी वोकैबुलरी बहुत अच्छी है. और अगर ऐसा है तो फिर आपके लिए शायद इन ऑप्शनल्स को आप चूज कर सकते हो, विच इज लैंग्वेज रिलेटेड, वेदर इट इज हिंदी और वेदर इट इज मे बी इंग्लिश और मे बी सम अदर लैंग्वेज पेपर्स जो है वो भी होते हैं. यू कैन चूज फ्रॉम देम. तो एक तरफ साइंसेज है वेर यू हैव ओनली ऑब्जेक्टिव प्रेजेंटेशन, एक तरफ आपका लैंग्वेज है विच डिपेंड्स कंप्लीटली ऑन योर राइटिंग स्किल्स. हाउ वेल यू हैव द कैपेबिलिटी टू राइट, हाउ वेल you have the capability to present that language, whether you are good at the vocabulary of that particular language or not, whether you are good related to that or not. और फिर आता है इनके बीच में एक हाइब्रिड सिस्टम है, that is those optionals which are they require a combination of both. A combination, that means there is some objective requirement, ठीक है, because to a certain extent इसमें कंसेप्चुअल कॉन्सेप्ट्स भी है, conceptual concepts भी है, and then there is also some language requirement. That means here answer writing to a certain extent is also important, because it is not about, ठीक है, because these options that are there, if you do not know how to present answers, you are not going to score marks here. So ये वाले नहीं है, ना ही ये वाला है. दैट मीन्स इट्स नॉट ओनली अबाउट हाउ यू राइट आंसर्स. ये भी ध्यान रखना है कि ऐसा नहीं है कि इफ योर वोकैबुलरी इज वेरी गुड एंड इफ यू कुड राइट गुड इंग्लिश और हिंदी तो फिर उससे काम हो जाएगा. नो, हियर यू रिक्वायर बोथ अ मिक्सचर ऑफ इट. तो कुछ कॉन्सेप्ट्स भी है और आंसर राइटिंग की जरूरत है. दोनों ही चीजें होनी चाहिए. एंड यहां पर क्या, ये एक्सट्रीम्स है, ये दोनों एक्सट्रीम्स है. दैट मींस एक तरफ सिर्फ और सिर्फ कॉन्सेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी, और सिर्फ कॉन्सेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी नहीं, बहुत अच्छे लेवल की कॉन्सेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी, और एक तरफ कॉन्सेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी की जरूरत नहीं है लेकिन लैंग्वेज की जरूरत है. और लैंग्वेज कैसा, बहुत अच्छे लैंग्वेज पर आपकी पकड़ होनी चाहिए. यू शुड बी वेरी गुड एट इट. यू शुड बी वेरी गुड एट इट. यू शुड नो you should know about the language, you should know about the words, vocabulary, all of it. लेकिन फिर हाइब्रिड में कुछ ऐसे ऑप्शनल्स आ जाते हैं जहां पर आपको थोड़ा बहुत ऑब्जेक्टिव या कॉन्सेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी की जरूरत पड़ती है, एंड थोड़े बहुत आपको क्या है, थोड़े बहुत ऐसे आंसर राइटिंग स्किल्स की जरूरत पड़ती है जिसमें आपको क्या है, प्रेजेंटेशन पर भी आपको ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा. हाइब्रिड. और इनमें से बहुत सारे ऐसे ऑप्शनल्स हैं, जैसे एक ऑप्शनल है ज्योग्राफी, है ना. आप देखोगे देयर आर पीपल हु आर गुड एट साइंसेस बट डू नॉट वांट टू टेक साइंसेस, वो ज्योग्राफी ऑप्शनल रखते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि कंसेप्ट्स भी हैं उसमें और कुछ थोड़ा बहुत आंसर राइटिंग की जरूरत है. एंड देयर इज द ऑप्शनल पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. दैट मीन्स जो पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का ऑप्शनल है ना, व्हाट आई वांटेड टू से, ये पूरा रीजन मैं इस वजह से आपको बता रहा था, बिकॉज आई वांटेड टू क्लैरिफाई व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज द नेचर ऑफ पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन एज एन ऑप्शनल. बिकॉज व्हेन वी थिंक ऑफ पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन वी जनरली मेक अ मिस्टेक. और वो मिस्टेक क्या है? we make a mistake because we think that public administration is it's an optional. तो ज्यादातर सिर्फ आंसर राइटिंग या जैसे एक सोशल साइंस के ऑप्शनल की तरह हम देखते हैं, जैसे हिस्ट्री हो गया या इस तरह के ऑप्शनल्स हो गए, हमें ऐसा लगता है कि पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन इज मोर लाइकली, it's more related to that, but that's not the case. That is not the case. Public administration as an optional is a hybrid optional. And when I say hybrid optional, what do I mean by that? मेरे कहने का मतलब ये है कि ये वो ऑप्शनल है जहां पर आपको थोड़े ये स्किल्स की जरूरत है और थोड़े ये स्किल्स की जरूरत है. दोनों ही स्किल्स की आपको जरूरत है. हाँ, ये भी नहीं है कि पूरा ऑप्शनल कॉन्सेप्चुअल ही है, कि पूरा ऑप्शनल थ्योरीज और मैथमेटिक्स बेस्ड है, ऐसा भी नहीं. और ऐसा भी नहीं है कि इट इज नॉट, it is not just about how you write answers. No, it's not just about how you write answers. Even that is not the case. ये एक हाइब्रिड है, ये हाइब्रिड मॉडल, और ये एक ऐसा ऑप्शनल है जो तभी आपको मार्क्स दे सकता है when you understand this. क्योंकि जब aspirants, when I interact with aspirants who have public administration as their optionals, so what I see is that बहुत ऐसे उनमें से बच्चे होते हैं, और सिर्फ मेरे ऑप्शनल में ऐसा नहीं होगा, बहुत सारे अदर ऑप्शनल्स में भी ऐसा ही होगा, जो मुझे लगता है कि बहुत बार बच्चे इस बात को समझते नहीं हैं कि ऑप्शनल की रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है, एंड दे चूज एन ऑप्शनल without analyzing their capability and No, and managing that capability with what? Managing that capability with the, no, with the optional. They don't do that. ये काम वो नहीं करते. हर ऑप्शनल सबके लिए नहीं होता है. Not every optional is for everyone, because every optional has specific requirements. Fulfill that requirement, you are very likely to perform very well in that very optional. Okay? And that is what I am going to primarily discuss today. That is what I am going to talk about. At least when I say when I talk about public administration, obviously I don't know about other optionals that much, but when it comes to public administration, what are the requirements of this optional which can help you score good marks here? That is what we need. No, that is what we need to understand. Clear? So, when we talk about public administration, तो आप में से बहुत ऐसे बच्चे भी हैं, like I've seen students who come to me and who ask me a question कि सर कोई ऐसा ऑप्शनल बताइए जिसमें मुझे जनरल स्टडीज में भी मदद मिले. And that's a very logical question. It's a very logical question because there are so many things that you have to prepare. You have to prepare general studies 4 paper, you have to work on your essay writing, you have to also work on your answer writing, and along with it you have to prepare an optional. So in that case, what becomes very important is that you exactly know that whether your optional is going to help you in general studies or not. And with respect to public administration, one of the most important benefits that public administration as an optional has is how this optional helps in your general studies preparation. Because what exactly will you read in public administration? What you read is how the country is administered. At least that is the content of your public administration paper 2. It is the content of your public administration paper 2. So if you see public administration, what it does is it helps you in the general studies paper 2, because general studies paper 2 is what? General studies paper 2 is about polity, governance, and then you have 2 more parts, social justice and international relations. This is your paper 2. Now, this part of general studies paper 2, that is polity and the governance part, this part of paper 2 will overlap with public administration. In fact, if you have prepared this optional, preparing this part is only 10%. That is there is only remaining 10% which is there, and the other aspects you have already prepared in your optional itself. You have already prepared it in your optional. Whether it is the governance part, you will complete it in your optionals. Polity part, some part of it is something which you don't know, which you don't read in your paper 2. ये चीज आप शायद पेपर 2 में जनरल स्टडीज पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन पेपर 2 में नहीं पढ़ते हो पूरी तरह से. तो कंप्लीट ओवरलैप पॉलिटी और पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का नहीं है, बट 90% ऑफ इट ओवरलैप्स. तो ओनली 10% ऑफ इट इज रिमेनिंग जो आपको एडिशनली पढ़ना पड़ेगा. ठीक है. नाउ इन दिस केस इफ यू लुक एट जनरल स्टडीज पेपर 3, so there is a topic in general studies paper 3 called as disaster management. Disaster management. and this disaster management topic that is there, this is also present in your what? It is also present in your paper. The paper 2 topic that is there, it includes disaster management. The last significant issues in administration that has a topic, disaster management. If you look at, as I've already told you, paper 2. So how does it overlap with polity? See, salient features and value premise of the constitution, constitutionalism, political culture, it overlaps with the polity part. Similarly, if you look at union government topic, executive, parliament, judiciary, all of this overlaps with your with your general studies polity part. Similarly, if you look at state government, so whether it is union, state, administrative, legislative, financial relations, finance commission, governor, chief minister, council of ministers, again it overlaps with your polity part. Whether it comes to the topic rural development or urban development, that is municipal governance, 73rd constitutional amendment, 74th constitutional amendment, it overlaps with your polity part. That is the reason why I said, if whenever we talk about polity, why is it that this part is already covered? Because when you look at your syllabus, when you look at your general studies syllabus, you will see the overlap. If you look at paper 1, come to paper 1 topic and look at this topic, accountability and control, and if you compare it to the governance topic, अगर आपको GS पेपर 2 के सिलेबस का आइडिया है तो आप समझो, whether it is social audit, RTI, citizens charter, role of interest groups, citizen and admin, all of this topic is a part of your governance. All of this topic is a part of your governance. So if you are preparing public administration, if you are choosing this as one of your optionals, what happens? If you choose this one as one of your optionals, not only do you cover GS paper 2 polity and governance part, you cover GS paper 3 disaster management part, and in GS paper 4, there are two things. First, there is a topic called probity in governance. This topic again overlaps with public administration. And then when we look at the overall GS paper, जब हम GS पेपर को पूरी तरह से देखते हैं तो हमें क्या नजर आता है? हमें वहां पर एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात ये पेपर 4 में नजर आती है कि ज्यादातर जो भी आंसर्स हम वहां लिख रहे हैं, वट एवर आंसर्स वी आर राइटिंग देयर, वी आर जज्ड ऑन व्हाट कैपेबिलिटीज, वी आर जज्ड ऑन द कैपेबिलिटी दैट वेदर यू आर an effective administrator or not. That means whether you are going to perform and take decisions which are administratively feasible, and at the same time is it ethical or moral or not. You are going to be judged on that very criteria in general studies paper 4. Whether it is case studies, if you know your paper 4 also has case studies. So when you are writing case studies, जब आप case studies लिख रहे हो, and what are you supposed to write? लिखना क्या आपको? आपको दो बातें ध्यान रखनी है. First of all, you have to write case studies जहां पर आपको इस बात का पता होना चाहिए कि whatever you are writing is ethical. So it should not be that you are a civil servant but you are writing something there, or you are taking decisions which are in contradiction to ethics and morality. वो नहीं होना चाहिए. और दूसरी चीज क्या होनी? दूसरी चीज ये कि whatever decisions and whatever you are writing, those decisions should be ethical and moral. So public administration, because we read about what is administrative behavior, you read about how as an administrator you should, what are the values and what are the basic principles on which you should conduct yourself. So what does it do? It also helps us in preparing for general studies paper 4. That means, though on the face of it, it may not be very visible, but to be able to perform well, you need the knowledge of how administration functions, what are the values with which administration functions, and only then you can do what? You can perform well in GS paper 2, GS paper 3, at least a part of GS paper 3 and primarily in GS paper 4. And this is where public administration becomes a very important, it becomes a very important optional, because it gives you an insight and it also helps you. It helps you in that very regard. Okay, it helps you in that very. Okay, now so we have understood किस तरह के ऑप्शनल्स होते हैं, what is the nature of public administration, and then we have also seen how public administration helps us. How public administration helps us. Now the question is, what is the content of the syllabus? What are the important ideas? What exactly do we study here? So in that context, what we need to do is we need to see the syllabus and try and decipher the syllabus. Let's decipher what is the syllabus of public administration. Okay, and look at the syllabus. Now this is very important that you understand, as I've already informed you, that what is the major mistake that we commit. The major mistake, जो सबसे important initial mistake होता है, we don't know what the optional is and we choose it. ठीक है, and there are irrational reasons why we go for an optional. क्योंकि किसी और ने बोल दिया, क्योंकि किसी लास्ट ईयर उस पर्टिकुलर ऑप्शनल से किसी इंडिविजुअल ने एग्जाम टॉप कर लिया, क्योंकि आपके दोस्त ने आपको बता दिया. So what you do is you choose optional on that basis, and that is absolutely the wrong way. Okay, I cannot emphasize enough on the importance of understanding what the optional is before you choose the optional. Before you choose the optional, उसके लिए आपको क्या करने की जरूरत है? पहले तो आपको सिलेबस देखने की जरूरत है. What exactly is the content of the syllabus? और आपको ये समझने की जरूरत है कि what exactly do you read here? What is the meaning of this syllabus? In fact, the seminar that we have basically organized, it is to assist people, assist aspirants for primarily this purpose, that you should absolutely know what is the content of public administration as an optional before you choose it. Before you decide to opt for it or you decide not to opt for it, you should know what exactly is the content of it, and that is basically what we are going to understand. See, look at the very first paper and look at the specific nomenclature. नाम देखो पेपर का. Paper 1, it is called as administrative theory. And what is paper 2? Paper 2 is called Indian administration. That means the syllabus of public administration in this part, it is only paper 2 of public administration where we read about what exactly is Indian administration. What exactly is Indian administration? We read about that only in paper 2. This is ये एक प्रॉब्लम है, क्योंकि जब आप पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन के बारे में सोचते हो तो आप जनरली इस तरीके से सोचते हो that public administration is what? Public administration is about reading of how Indian administration functions, how Indian administration works. This is what public administration is. हम जनरली इसको इसी तरीके से देखते हैं कि हमें कुछ ऑफिसेस के बारे में पता है, like we know about the office of district collector, we know about the office of superintendent of police. हर इंडिविजुअल को पता है इन ऑफिसेस के बारे में, और हमें ऐसा लगता है, और ज्यादातर लोग जो इस ऑप्शनल को बिना समझे चूज करते हैं, उनको ऐसा लगता है that the optional is about reading of such offices, कि ये offices क्या है, इनका काम क्या है, and what exactly is the nature of authority that this particular office has. लेकिन ये public administration optional नहीं है. That is not what the content is. The content is very different. Yes, we read about the Indian administration, but we read about Indian administration only in paper 2, not in paper 1. The first thing that you have to understand is this. And if you look at what is the content of paper 1, the content of paper 1 revolves around the idea of administrative theory. That means, generally speaking, how administration works. What are the important criterias? What are the important basis on which administration functions? On which administration functions? That is basically what we read as a part of administrative theory. That is what we read as a part of public administration paper 1. And see, look at it, introduction topic. Now, in the introduction topic, after the meaning and scope part, look at this: new public administration, public choice approach, challenges of LPG, good governance, and NPM. This is the topic that is there. Now, what is the content of this? What are the ideas here? The topic is about how public administration has originated as a discipline. Because if you compare public administration with maybe other disciplines like physics, chemistry or others, economics, biology, etc. तो उन disciplines का एक बहुत बड़ा past रहा है. So if you trace the evidence कि biology as a discipline कब शुरू हुआ, तो हमें ancient era में जाना पड़ेगा कि वहां पर लोग क्या पढ़ते थे. If you look at suppose physics, so you will understand that people, even during the ancient times, they used to observe certain phenomena and so on. But that is not the case with public administration. Public administration as a discipline starts with Wilson's vision. This is the time, and this is the idea where public administration as a discipline, it is considered to be the starting point of the discipline. Because Woodrow Wilson, he is called as what? Woodrow Wilson is called as the father of public administration, and Woodrow Wilson was also the president of the United States of America. So he became the president of United States of America during what? During the First World War. He became the president during the First World War. यानी अगर हम public administration as a discipline देखते हैं, तो वो उसका एक टाइमलाइन है और जो बहुत ही रीसेंट पास्ट का है, which is what? 1887. So 1887 onwards क्या क्या चीजें हुई है? How public administration में कुछ डेवलपमेंट्स हुए, विल्सन ने कुछ ऐसे लिखा, and how that has resulted into certain changes. उसी तरीके से आप देखो कि NPA, this is something which comes in the 1960s. अगर हम न्यू पब्लिक मैनेजमेंट की बात करते हैं तो 1980s और 1990s की बात. How has things evolved in public administration after 1887, and what are the major developments? ये है आपका introduction topic. When we talk about the administrative thought, तो आप यहां पर क्या देख रहे हो? You see thinkers, and these thinkers are generally management oriented thinkers. That means whether it is scientific management theory given by Taylor, whether it is the participative management thinkers Likert, Argyris, McGregor, etc. ये जो thinkers हैं, who are they? They are management thinkers, because as I said, एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव थ्योरी, यानी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव थ्योरी का मतलब क्या है? ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, एक इंस्टीट्यूशन कैसे काम करता है। पेपर 1 में हम यही प्राइमरली पढ़ते हैं, थ्योरेटिकल पार्ट ऑफ इट, कि एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कैसे काम करता है, हाउ डज एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन वर्क, एंड व्हाट आर द स्पेसिफिक थ्योरीज of important management thinkers who have pointed out to what aspects of an organization is important. What aspects? Because some of the management thinkers, they consider humans to be important. उनके हिसाब से ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में ह्यूमंस की वजह से जो भी एफिशिएंसी पार्ट है वो ह्यूमंस की वजह से अफेक्टेड है। कुछ ऐसे थिंकर्स है जिनका ये मानना नहीं है। सम ऑफ देम बिलीव दैट इट इज अदर एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। So this is what the theory part is. There are number of thinkers who have presented their view that what are the important factors in an organization. एक organization में important factors कौन-कौन से हैं? And that is what we study as a part of administrative thought. Similarly, administrative behavior, what? Organizational behavior. Organizational behavior. What are the important बिहेवियर परफॉर्म्ड इन एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन? तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में डिसीजन मेकिंग के क्या टेक्निक्स हैं, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में कम्युनिकेशन, मोटिवेशन, लीडरशिप किस तरीके से टेकअप किया जाता है, दैट इज व्हाट वी स्टडी एज अ पार्ट ऑफ एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव बिहेवियर। नाउ दिस इज नॉट व्हाट जनरली यू टेंड टू अंडरस्टैंड, क्योंकि जब भी मैं देखता हूं कि पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, उनको लगता है अच्छा सर हम इंडियन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन या जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन इंडिया में है, डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर या इस तरह की जो ऑफिसेज है वो कैसे काम करती है, दैट इज ओनली अ पार्ट ऑफ एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, दैट इज ओनली वन टॉपिक दैट वी स्टडी इन पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, इट्स नॉट द होल ऑफ इट। द नेचर ऑफ एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन इज, द नेचर ऑफ द सिलेबस इज वेरी डिफरेंट, द नेचर ऑफ दिस सिलेबस इज वेरी डिफरेंट। दैट इज व्हाट आई सेड, दैट व्हेन वी लुक एट the optionals like public administration, what is it? It is a hybrid optional, जहां पर एक मिक्सचर है किस चीज का, कंसेप्चुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग का, क्योंकि यहां पर कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं। what we read here, these are all concepts. what we read here, these are all concepts. It's completely conceptual, and once you know about them, that if you know that okay, Simon's theory of decision making, उन्होंने ये बात कही थी, so now you know about what Simon has to say, and any question that comes from Simon or any such thinker, if you know about them, you are very likely, you are conceptually, because you are conceptually clear, you know what the answer is. अब उसमें आपको कोई if and but नहीं है, you know what the answer is, and as I said कि ये थोड़ा हाइब्रिड है, तो इसमें थोड़ा आंसर राइटिंग की जरूरत होती है, एज टू हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू फ्रेम योर आंसर्स एटसेट्रा। ठीक है, नाउ व्हेन यू सी द टॉपिक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, ठीक है, इट्स अबाउट, अगेन इट्स अ लॉट ऑफ डिटेल्स अबाउट हाउ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन इज स्ट्रक्चर्ड एटसेट्रा। अभी आप इस बात को नहीं समझोगे, इसीलिए थोड़ा हम आगे आते हैं। अब देखो, लुक एट दीज टॉपिक्स, कंपैरेटिव पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, topic development dynamics. What is it? So how in the 1950s, post Second World War, till Second World War, अगर हम देखते हैं तो अमेरिका, because why did I say America? Because public administration as a discipline has evolved in America. Public administration as a discipline has been framed as to what the discipline is about. ये सारी चीजें अमेरिका में ही हुई हैं, It's a discipline which has come up because of America. So till Second World War, अमेरिका एज अ कंट्री वो अपने तक सीमित था, यानी उनको बहुत ज्यादा दूसरी जगह क्या हो रहा है उससे कुछ खास मतलब नहीं हुआ करता था. सो इट वाज रिस्ट्रिक्टेड टू, ठीक है, वी आर गोइंग टू एंश्योर आर इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट, थोड़ा बहुत ट्रेड करेंगे एंड ऑल ऑफ दिस, लोग हमसे सामान लेंगे, वी आर गोइंग टू अर्न आउट ऑफ इट एंड वी आर गोइंग टू फोकस ऑन आर इकोनॉमी. This is what, this is what till the year 1950s or mid 1940s till the Second World War, what America was about. But post that is post Second World War, America and its foreign policy underwent a complete change. And now America had the goal of what? Influencing the world. ठीक है, अब वो जो इंटरनल बातें थी ना वो खत्म हो गई, अब वो बाहर इन्फ्लुएंस कर रहे, ज्यादा जो चाहते हैं ज्यादा से ज्यादा कंट्री जो है उनके साथ अलाय रहे, जो वो बोले वो सारी कंट्रीज करे, दिस इज व्हाट दे वांट. अब हाउ डिड दे ट्राई एंड अचीव दिस गोल? अब इसमें एक एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव व्यू भी है. नाउ यू नो अबाउट इकोनॉमिक्स, यू नो एंड हाउ इंटरनेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस डेवलप्ड ऑल ऑफ इट, बट देयर इज एन एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव व्यू आल्सो. व्हाट इज दैट एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव व्यू? दैट नाउ the discipline of public administration changes, because now America wants to study what is going on outside that. So what the administration of other countries are doing, है ना, what the administration of other countries are doing, that is now a part of the study, and that is why you see the growth of comparative public administration. That is how the administration of different countries are functioning. So if American administration is this, what about Indian administration? What are the important factors there? What about maybe some other countries, and what about their administrative? Or isme theories hai. So there are thinkers who have come up with defining different types of societies and administration, and that is what we study in comparative public administration. Development dynamics, that means development as a concept. Development what was in the 1950s, क्या development आज भी वही है जो हम development 1950s में मानते थे, और आज जो जिस चीज को हम development मानते हैं क्या वही development है? नहीं, because अगर 1950s के हिसाब से पैरामीटर होना तो इंडिया इज अ डेवलप्ड कंट्री. Why? Because the only thing that mattered initially was economic development, and in that case India is the fourth largest economy in the world today. It has overtaken Japan. It has become the fourth largest economy in the world. So in that case India is developed. But today the developmental parameters have changed. Development parameters have changed because developmental parameters today is not just about economic development. There are other things also, even human resource development. So you have indexes like HDI, Human Development Index. You have something called as multi-dimensional poverty index. You have goals like sustainable development goals. तो ये सारी चीजें क्या, ये आज हमारे लिए डेवलपमेंट का मतलब है, एंड दिस इज व्हाट वी स्टडी हियर. हाउ हैज डेवलपमेंट चेंज्ड, है ना, हाउ हैज डेवलपमेंट चेंज्ड, एंड ऑल्सो what is the role of administration in it, and along with it things, factors like women and development. What is the role of women, whether women have been real beneficiaries of development or not. This is what we study here. Now if you look at topics like public policy, तो हम इसमें क्या पढ़ते हैं? हम इसमें पढ़ते हैं what is policy and how policies are made and how are they implemented and what are the models here. So certain thinkers, कुछ ऐसे thinkers है जिनका पब्लिक पॉलिसी को लेकर कुछ स्पेसिफिक उनका मानना है. जैसे एक थिंकर है जिनका मानना है, जिनका कहना है एलिटिस्ट थ्योरी, यानी फॉर देम पब्लिक पॉलिसी इज मेड बाय एलिट्स और हम कॉमन इंडिविजुअल्स, हमारा कोई रोल वहां पर है ही नहीं, हमारा कोई रोल नहीं. बस हमें ये बात पता नहीं चलती है कि एलिट्स जो है वो पॉलिसीज बनाते हैं, ये उनका मानना. So this is the types of theories that are there, and we study it as a part of public policy. ठीक है, अब देखो इसके अलावा अगर हम और टॉपिक्स को देखते हैं, लाइक फाइनेंशियल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, पर्सनल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, the topic accountability and control. Now, financial and personal administration, as I said, administrative theory. And because we are saying administrative theory, what does that mean? How administration and organization functions. तो एक organization के लिए क्या पैसे का importance है? Yes. Without money, an organization cannot function. So, what do we study? We study financial administration. That is how how money works, what is the budgetary process, etc. etc. Similarly, एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में पैसे के साथ साथ क्या लोगों का इंपॉर्टेंस है, द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ ह्यूमंस ऑब्वियसली है ना, ऑब्वियसली दैट इज द केस. सो व्हाट डज दैट मीन? what do we study? We study personal administration, importance of human resource, recruitment, training, career appraisal, classification, employer employee relationship, वो कैसे होता है. That is what paper 1 is. पेपर 1 जो हम सोचते हैं अबाउट पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन उससे काफी अलग है, बिकॉज नॉट एवरीवन ट्रूली अंडरस्टैंड्स. दिस इज व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू क्लैरिफाई. Not everyone truly understands what is the demand here. Not everyone truly understands that. हमें whenever we look at public administration हमें लगता है कि obviously we are going to study Indian administration. No. At least 50% of the paper, which is paper 1, you don't study in paper 1 about Indian administration. What you study in paper 1 is how does an organization function. एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए क्या इंपॉर्टेंट है और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन फंक्शन कैसे करता है. हाँ, इन एडिशन टू इट ऑब्वियसली यू ऑल्सो स्टडी टॉपिक्स लाइक introduction, that is how public administration since 1887 has evolved, and obviously the theories of organization. This is actually management more than public administration. It's more management. So that is the reason why I said hybrid है ये, एक conceptual part है public administration का, and paper 1 is completely conceptual by nature. It's all about concepts. It's all about understanding, whether you understand things well or not. When it comes to paper 2, now this is what we generally think of. So how has Indian administration evolved? What was the role of Kautilya? What was the role of Mughals? What was the role of British administration? What about the Indian constitution that we have just mentioned? How local bodies work, how state government works, how union government functions, that we study. How planning works in India. So institutions like the Niti Aayog, how it functions. Institutions like the Niti Aayog. And there are some questions that you are asking, those who are online. देखो questions के लिए मैं last में time रखूंगा. Any questions that you have that I can answer? Obviously some of you have questions related to Hindi medium batch and etc. I don't have any knowledge regarding that. Okay, I can tell you about this particular batch and this particular concern, वो मैं बता दूंगा, but nothing else. Okay, so see how does the planning machinery work? India में नीति आयोग 2015 में आया, तो नीति आयोग कर क्या रहा है? What does it do? What is the nature of planning in India? What is the role? What was the role more appropriately of of planning commission, and how well did planning commission function? Did they succeed or not? This is what we study as a part of plan and priorities. Then we talk about institutions like the district administration. So how district administration works? अब यहाँ पर जो आपका जनरल ये रहता है कि ऑफिस ऑफ डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर. सो वी रीड अबाउट द ऑफिस ऑफ डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर हियर, वेयर हाउ हैज द ऑफिस ऑफ डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर चेंज्ड. कि आज जो ऑफिस ऑफ डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर देख रहे हो, क्या ये प्री इंडिपेंडेंस पहले में भी ऐसा ही था, और पोस्ट इंडिपेंडेंस में जो इनिशियल चेंजेस आए वो क्या थे? वी रीड अबाउट इट हियर. है ना. देन फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट, वहां फाइनेंशियल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन था, यहाँ फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट. वहां पर पर्सनल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन था, यहाँ पर सिविल सर्विसेज है, where we study how civil servants are recruited, how the training program goes on, and so on. And then obviously the topics like rural development, urban development, law and order. So police and the functioning of police in India. What are the problems related to police and public relations? लोग पुलिस से डरते क्यों हैं, है ना. और उसमें कौन से ऐसे मेजर प्रॉब्लम्स हैं कि आज पुलिस एज एन इंस्टीट्यूशन मुझे इनएफेक्टिव नजर आता है. व्हाट आर द प्रॉब्लम्स? वी स्टडी अबाउट दैट. एंड दिस पर्टिकुलर पार्ट which is completely current oriented, which is, suppose we are talking about coalition regime, we are talking about disaster management, we are talking about corruption and how corruption and administration works. This is basically the syllabus. That means in paper 2 we read about how the Indian administration functions. We read it about, in paper 2 how Indian administration functions. हाँ बोलो. हाँ, it was planning commission. The organization was called planning commission. Plans and priorities. ठीक है. Look at this look at this composition and functions of planning commission. Yes. So there was an institution before 2015. Now the institution has changed. Okay. So this is what we study in public administration. What we generally think of वो अलग है. Paper 1 is more management oriented. Paper 2 of public administration is less management oriented. Paper 2 is more Indian administration. What is the Indian administration structure? How it functions how it functions here. That is what is the part of paper. So whenever we are talking about this whole optional, क्योंकि देखो, you should exactly know what is the composition of it. So this is what this is what the requirement of the paper is. This is what the nature is. So considering that it is only about how India's administration functions, वो सिर्फ 50% है पेपर का. Clear? And paper 1 is what? Paper 1 is the more theoretical idea. It's more theoretical. It's more conceptual. It's more conceptual. Paper 2 is, it is more factual. Paper 2 is more factual because here straightforward, the ideas here are straightforward. Straightforward. So if we are talking about British administration and its initiatives related to suppose law and order, तो हमें पता है कि ब्रिटिश ने, अगर इंडिया की पुलिसिंग की बात करें, आज भी हम ब्रिटिश मॉडल ऑफ पुलिसिंग फॉलो करते हैं. तो इफ वी टॉक अबाउट द मॉडल, इट इज कॉल्ड एज द आयरिश कॉन्स्टेबुलरी मॉडल. किसने इंट्रोड्यूस किया? ब्रिटिशर्स ने. आज भी इंडिया में फॉलो होता है व्हाट इज कॉल्ड एज द इंडियन पुलिस एक्ट 1861 एंड वी स्टिल कंटिन्यू विद दैट पर्टिकुलर लॉ. आज भी हम इसी लॉ के साथ कंटिन्यू कर रहे हैं. So the model that we have today is the British model, and whatever, if you get a question, you will get a question very simple. In this sense, you will have to write whatever factual knowledge you have. So paper 1 is conceptual and theoretical. Paper 2 is more straightforward. The difference is that when you are writing paper 2, you have to use this concept here. That means generally whenever we talk about requirements, how to score well here, है ना, कि पहले दिन से हमें ये पता होना चाहिए कि इफ आई हैव टू स्कोर, सपोज एज आई सेड, इफ आई हैव टू स्कोर सपोज अ स्कोर ऑफ इन एक्सेस टू 270, 275, 280, something like that, because that is in contemporary time that is considered to be the very good score. हाँ, obviously if I get more than that ठीक है, और हर साल वैरी भी करता है स्कोर, लेकिन अगर मुझे उस पर्टिकुलर लेवल का स्कोर लाना है तो व्हाट आर द रिक्वायरमेंट्स? थ्री रिक्वायरमेंट्स. What are those? Paper 1, we know it is conceptual. So what is required is conceptual clarity. There is conceptual clarity required. Like if we know theories, so we should have the capability to do what? We should have the capability to understand them. So if a particular theorist says this, why? जैसे अगर हमने डिसीजन मेकिंग की बात करनी है, साइमन ने कहा है कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में डिसीजन मेकिंग कभी भी बेस्ट डिसीजंस हम नहीं ले पाते. We take only decisions which are good enough. We don't take best decisions. His model is called bounded rationality model. कि आप बेस्ट डिसीजंस नहीं लेते. तो साइमन ने क्यों कहा है? बिकॉज ही सेज देयर आर रिस्ट्रिक्शंस. There are restrictions related to information, restrictions related to analysis, and we, because we are human beings, so we have lot of other considerations and we don't take simply objective decisions. तो अगर साइमन ने बाउंडेड रैशनैलिटी बोला है तो क्यों बोला है? दिस इज व्हाट कंसेप्चुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग इज. This is what conceptual understanding is. If suppose there is a thinker who, no, like McGregor, who talks about theory Y, तो theory Y क्या है and what is the basis of it? ये conceptual understanding का part है. This is where the classroom program comes. जो भी आपका क्लासरूम प्रोग्राम है वो यहाँ हेल्प करता है, बिकॉज दीज थ्योरीज दैट आर देयर, टू अंडरस्टैंड दीज थ्योरीज एंड टू पिक what exactly is the content that is required. इसमें क्लासरूम प्रोग्राम आपको बहुत हेल्प करता है. Secondly, the second requirement is what? Correlation. See, paper 2, last slide मैंने क्या लिखा है? Paper 2 is more straightforward. It's more factual. Content straightforward, factual है. But when you are writing your answers there, you will have to correlate. कहां से? Paper 1. You have to correlate with what? You have to correlate it with paper 1. If you have the capability to correlate with paper 1, if you are able to refer to theories, thinkers and write it in paper 2, you get good marks. और फिर ये चीज आपको क्लासरूम प्रोग्राम helps you, because self study does this, but to be capable of doing it at the very first go in self studies wo difficult. And then there is a third requirement, which is the dynamic part. Current affairs related. This is current affairs related. Now, when we say current affairs related, what it means is that, देखो, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन इज नॉट स्टेटिक, है ना, ये स्टेटिक नहीं है, इट इज डायनेमिक. इट इज डायनेमिक, इट कीप्स ऑन चेंजिंग. अगर हम आज से 10 साल पहले चले जाएं और इफ वी लुक एट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन going back 2 years or 10 years, you will not see the same administration today. You will see there is a huge difference. जिस तरीके से एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन आज से 10 साल पहले काम करता था और जिस तरीके से एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन आज काम करता है उसमें बहुत डिफरेंस है. So the changes that are constantly happening, वो डायनेमिक चेंजेस है, एंड it happens not in 10 years, it happens almost on daily basis. कुछ नई चीजें हमेशा इंट्रोड्यूस की जा रही है ना. अगर हम आज लॉ एंड ऑर्डर की बात करें, टुडे लॉ एंड ऑर्डर वी आर मूविंग टुवर्ड्स आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस. तो हाउ डज आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंट इंपैक्ट लॉ एंड ऑर्डर? does it not have a negative impact? How can it be used for better maintenance of law and order? ये dynamic है. And there are number of initiatives that are being taken up, है ना. So what you have to understand is that there is a dynamic part of public administration as well. Disaster management. This last year itself, 2024, the government has proposed an amendment to the Disaster Management Act जो 2005 में बनाया गया था. तो जो 2005 का लॉ है, आज उस लॉ को हम अमेंड करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. क्या है वो अमेंडमेंट और हम वो अमेंडमेंट क्यों करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं? व्हाई? दैट इज द डायनेमिक पार्ट ऑफ एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. इफ वी टॉक अबाउट रूरल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन टुडे, आप देखोगे इन इंडिया वी हैव अ ट्रेंड टुवर्ड्स डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन. दैट मीन्स हमने 1990s में कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अमेंडमेंट करके म्युनिसिपैलिटीज और पंचायत्स बना दिए, लेकिन 1990s में स्ट्रक्चरल डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन हुआ, फंक्शनल डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन नहीं हुआ. यानी जो फंक्शंस इन इंस्टीट्यूशंस को हमें देने थे, वो फंक्शंस हमने उन इंस्टीट्यूशंस को नहीं दिए. आज ये हो रहा है. इंक्रीजिंग ट्रेंड्स टुवर्ड्स डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन. व्हाट आर दोस? ये है करंट पार्ट, ये है डायनामिक पार्ट, एंड दिस dynamism is very, very important for public administration, because public administration in your paper 2 you are very likely to get questions जहां पर आपसे डायरेक्टली कुछ ऐसे इनिशिएटिव्स पूछे जा रहे हैं जो नए इनिशिएटिव्स, कुछ ऐसे प्रोग्राम्स के बारे में पूछी जा रही हैं जो नए प्रोग्राम्स. देयर इज अ मिशन कॉल्ड एज मिशन कर्मयोगी. Related to training of civil servants. It has changed. Today there is a new mechanism of training that has been introduced, and by today I mean it was introduced in 2019-20. So वो क्या है? What is the objective that the government wants to achieve? What are the problems with this form of training? This is the current evaluative part. और ये चीजें जो है अगेन सेल्फ स्टडी से थोड़ा मुश्किल होता है, एंड दिस इज वेयर द क्लासरूम प्रोग्राम कम्स. एंड टू ऐड ऑल ऑफ दिस, व्हाट इज इट? याद रखना, आंसर राइटिंग. बिकॉज मेंस एग्जामिनेशन विदाउट आंसर राइटिंग विल नॉट फेच यू मार्क्स. जब तक आपको ये नहीं पता है कि आंसर लिखना क्या है, और आंसर सिर्फ लिखना क्या नहीं है, आंसर कैसे लिखना है. दैट मीन्स कंटेंट अलोंग विथ प्रेजेंटेशन. कंटेंट इज इंपॉर्टेंट, बट प्रेजेंटेशन इज सिमिलरली इंपॉर्टेंट इफ नॉट मोर. क्योंकि कुछ क्वेश्चन से 20 मार्कर्स है, कुछ क्वेश्चन से 15 मार्कर्स है, और कुछ क्वेश्चन से 10 मार्कर्स है. इन तीनों का प्रेजेंटेशन अलग होता है, इन तीनों का कंटेंट अलग होता है. So in that case, to know how you approach them, you cannot do this without you being formally trained in it. और यही चीज क्लासरूम प्रोग्राम या एज एन इंस्टीट्यूशन जो मेंटोरशिप है, this is how it basically helps. This is how it helps you. Not otherwise, it will become very difficult. Clear? Now, when it comes to our classroom program, what does it offer? देखो, it offers obviously the syllabus part of it, but that is not the only thing, because this is not enough. Just reading of the syllabus is not enough. Specifically, what we offer is that every topic, after we complete every topic, there is a class which is dedicated for the PYQ session, in which we talk about the last 5 years questions. We take the last 5 years question, we discuss them, what would be the way we handle it, and obviously you can write those answers and submit. That means that answer writing part that is there, that is taken care of. ठीक है? We offer tests. That means at regular interval you have tests. In those tests, whatever content you have learned, how you are going to present that content, because if you don't evaluate your preparation, उस preparation का कोई मतलब नहीं है जब तक आप उस preparation को performance में convert नहीं कर सकते हो. If you have the ability to convert preparation into performance, you succeed. If you don't, कितना भी पढ़ लो, कितनी भी प्रिपरेशन कर लो, उससे कुछ खास फायदा नहीं होता है. तो this does what? This helps you convert your preparation into your performance. Now, because your app gives you access to recorded classes as well, that means along with the live class, if you have any doubts, so recorded classes are there. So these recorded classes help you how? So at any given point of time during the course time that you have, आपको कोई भी टॉपिक अगर रिवाइज करना है, you can go through the recorded classes, it will help you accordingly. ठीक है, it will help you accordingly. So along with syllabus discussion, you have a lot of value added part, and this is basically how your preparation should be saved. देखो, content is not the only thing. In contemporary UPSC preparation, my belief is that content, until and unless you add value to it, until unless you make it more exam oriented, because this is something which you have to understand, exam orientation. मेरा ऑब्जेक्टिव आपको सिर्फ सिलेबस पढ़ाना नहीं, मेरा ऑब्जेक्टिव आपको वो तरीका एडॉप्ट करके पढ़ाना है जिससे आपका जो भी नेसेसरी आपके रिक्वायरमेंट्स हैं फॉर क्रैकिंग दिस एग्जामिनेशन, those necessary requirements are going to be fulfilled. तो अगर आप ये सिलेबस देखते हो ना, देखो ये सिलेबस इट इज वर्थ मे बी 1.5 years टू कंप्लीट, लेकिन ऑब्वियसली दैट विल नॉट मेक सेंस. हमारे लिए इस बात का इंपॉर्टेंस है कि वी आर एबल टू इन द नेक्स्ट 5 months कंप्लीट द सिलेबस एंड बी प्रिपेयर्ड विथ राइटिंग आवर मेंस एग्जामिनेशन. तो वो कैसे होगा वो मैं आपको बताऊंगा. In addition to it, you are going to get notes. Now, notes would be of 2 types. There would be classroom notes, जो कि generally आपका query होता है, जो मैं dictate भी करता हूं, और कुछ ऐसे टॉपिक्स हैं जिसके लिए आपको एडिशनल पीडीएफ्स दिए जाते हैं, एडिशनल पीडीएफ। तो दैट वुड बी ऑल्सो, दैट विल ऑल्सो बी कवर्ड। Which means coming means 2025? No, it's not possible. We are in the month of almost July. In August you have mains. August, I think 25th is the date when the main starts. Obviously I cannot, it's not possible. Whatever preparation we are going to take up, we are going to take up for 2026 mains. But this, what I start on Monday will be completed by December 2025. Your classroom discussion, etc., will be completed by 2025. Whatever additional requirements that would be there, it will be taken up, but whatever classroom discussion that is there, it will be completed by this particular timeline. Okay? This is what you have to. So now if you have any queries, कोई भी ऐसी चीज है जो आप पूछना चाहते हो, those who are online and those who are no obviously offline, तो अगर कोई queries है तो आप पूछ सकते हो. And remember, for all those, I would no, for all students who are here, I would like to clarify one thing. The class discussion that is there will be as far as possible in English. हाँ, कुछ ऐसी चीजें हैं जो मैं हिंदी में रिपीट कर सकता हूं. There are some examples that I use in order to ensure that you have no confusion related to it. So in those cases we do speak Hindi and we do communicate in Hindi, but this is primarily an English medium class and it would be mostly oriented into English medium. Okay, this is what you have to be. Okay, Rajiv, test series would be under my mentorship. Okay, it would be under my mentorship. Whatever is done, because we are going to launch the test series program also, we will be starting from 28th. Whatever we do, it will be under my mentorship, so it will be under my guidance. Okay, Pucho, any other questions that you have before we end this discussion? Success ratio of this optional, see, success ratio in terms of exactly what percentage of people get through this. तो देखो उसमें it differs from year to year, but anyways, if you look at how many people get through every year, on an average out of 12,000 people who are appearing for mains examination, 900 of them, like the last UPSC data that is there, it says 900 of them have appeared from public administration. Okay, out of which 47 of them have got through. Okay, 47 of them have gone through this particular option. So out of 900, 47. This is what the success ratio is, and this is basically the success ratio for most of the optional. It differs from year to year. Every year, some or the other optional that is there, it performs very well. But what the UPSC data says, I have informed you about that. Okay. Sir, I am 18 years, second year, 3 months after 5. But see, you will not be able to fill up your form, Prince. You will be able to fill up your forms with two requirements. First, you should have completed your bachelor's degree. Secondly, you should have attained the age of 21 years. So if you fulfill both of them, only then you will be able to fill your form. So abhi to aap 18 years ke ho, you have 3 years. First batch. Obviously you are all in touch. ऐसा नहीं है. वो तो यस पेपर 2 की बात कर रहा. ये सोशल जस्टिस एंड आईआर है, ये इससे पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन का कोई रिलेशन नहीं है। पेपर 2 में 4 पार्ट्स हैं, पॉलिटी, गवर्नेंस, सोशल जस्टिस, आईआर। इसमें से ये 2 पार्ट्स कवर हैं, ये नहीं है ना। तो सोशल जस्टिस एंड आईआर इज नॉट पार्ट ऑफ पब्लिक एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन। ठीक है, एनी अदर क्वेश्चंस? Okay, so this is where we are going to end our discussion for today. We are going to start on Monday. On Monday, your class is at 4 p.m.